What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another weekly recap and predictions video. Now, I did promise you guys that I would bring you two different recaps for this week. The first one being GAXY that you should have seen maybe about an hour or so ago, and this one being for GAXY Next Generation. Now, GAXY is, of course, one of the most popular stocks on my channel. You guys are always asking about them, looking for updates and recaps and predictions, so I figured that it would be only necessary if I brought it to you guys today. Now, again, if you do want full updates on all of the trades I do make, if you want early access to the YouTube videos that I'm going to be creating, if you want to interact with a community of over 60 plus people now who always just talk about different stocks, trades, portfolios, it's just an absolutely phenomenal community. Definitely consider going down to the link below and checking out my Patreon. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump straight into this weekly recap. Of course, you guys know my style. I'll be going over a recap of all the news. I will then take a look at the stock price, the stock action of the week, and kind of just decide what I thought all happened. And then I will give my prediction and let you guys know what I'm going to be doing with this company over the next week. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. If you are, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and dropping a comment if you have any suggestions, feedback, criticism, or anything like that. It is all accepted. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump straight into the recap. So the first piece of news that we did get this week was going to be a tweet from Megan McGahey. Of course, she is the CFO for GAXY Next Generation. She said that the stimulus package passed on December 21st included $54.3 billion in funding for education. Now, GAXY provides many solutions that qualify for this funding, from our at-home learning software options to all of our in-school tools. In fact, all of our products will qualify. Now, this is one of those tweets that I didn't know how to take it at first. I was saying, okay, are you just hinting, or are you saying that you should get it, or are you hinting at the fact that there may be potential that they will be receiving some type of funding and stimulus from the government due to their different technologies? With some further thought, I thought, okay, she wouldn't have said that if there was not even remotely any type of possibility that that funding could come. Now, this is of course not the biggest piece of news. This is nothing super duper important, but it is just something to think about going into the future, as we have seen that with the right funding and with the right incoming revenue, that this company is developing some amazing products and moving very fast with their R&D and really getting all of this marketing out there and really just getting their products and their name known. So I think that if the potential day does come that we can see them maybe receive some type of stimulus or government funding due to this package that was passed, that we could really see this company use that to its advantage and further expedite the process of getting out these new products and growing their portfolio. Now, the next piece of news that we did get this week was that GAXY Next Generation was awarded additional purchase order from Boca Raton Christian School. Now, in here it says that this purchase order involves our full enhanced classroom of suite products, including interactive panels, integrated PCs, mobile stands, and interactive learning software. Now, this was for the additional 29 classrooms that represents approximately $100,000 in revenue. Megan McGahey again said that this add-on style of ordering is a direct reflection of our growth plan and strategy. Targeting our existing customers with new product offering while simultaneously adding new customers will allow us to keep the revenue increasing steadily and the cash flowing as we gear up for larger growth due to increased demand of new products. Now, this was the most exciting piece of news this week, in my opinion, simply for the fact that we can see that this company is still continuing to grow. In December, we did see them have a fantastic month, coming to a lot of different agreements, expanding out into new states, being like Arizona and Florida, and they're really trying to make their mark and establish themselves as a leading provider in technology and education technology solutions for, the entire world at this point. Now, whenever I do think about this, I think about it in the sense that this provided me some type of comfort, knowing that their customers are going back to them. Because no one really knows how good your product is until you see what the customers say. Well, if you see that a customer is going back to them to spend an additional $100,000 in order to fuel another 29 classrooms with their technology, well, that says something about the company. It says that their products are providing a great service to this, this school or this classroom itself, and that people are going to want to want more of this. This product is going to be in higher demand as more customers do order from them, and that, of course, is going to be very beneficial for GAXY Next Generation. Now, later on during the week, we did start to hear rumors that the CEO was selling shares of GAXY Next Generation. Now, I do believe that this even played a factor in the decrease in stock price that we will talk about later, but that was actually a moment that I was like, oh, that's really not good. If it was to the point that the CEO himself was selling shares, I'd be like, okay, that is a little bit problematic. But according to this tweet here, and according to an article that we did see the other day as well, it says that on the record, 0 shares were sold by either of us, and we have 0 desire to sell any of our ownership. We are just getting started. Now, this is again not that huge piece of information, as we didn't get super major news this week, but there were a lot of little rumors and stuff like this going around that I'm glad were clarified up, because of course even me, I was like, man, that's a little weird. Like, if he did go ahead and sell shares, I definitely should sell shares. I should get out of it. Now, of course, I do hold a position in this company. If you are curious to see what the position is and the gains or losses that I have taken from it, definitely check out that Patreon. But with that being said, with this tweet itself, it did provide me, again, a little bit more comfort knowing, okay, like, they're not bailing out on us, because if the captain jumps off the ship, I'm jumping off the ship too. Now, last but not least, we did see that they are starting to hire more additional sales managers to assist with the rapid expansion. So what that means is that they've increased their positions and they've started to increase their availability for people to come on board to start helping them sell out. They do have 3 open sales positions across the US, and there are a few more details on the link provided if you do want to check it out. But now, of course, this is, again, not the biggest piece of news, but it does come with implications. If this company's sales were not growing, if their demand wasn't growing, and if they weren't, trying to expand out and reach into a new consumer base, they would not be needing to bring on even more sales managers. Because why would they? If they're starting to shrink, if their business is not doing so well, they would probably start letting people go. But it is always a good sign, in my opinion, when people are starting to expand out their employee base and starting to hire more people, that they are doing well and they are trying to fulfill the need and demand that the consumers are asking for. So that is about all of the information that we did receive this week. It was not anything super huge, but there were a few minor rumors going around and just little smaller stuff going on that I did think was going to be important to note, just because I do think that actually the one with Gary LaCroix potentially selling shares did have some small effect on the company's stock price itself. With that being said, well, now that we are talking about the stock price, let's jump back into the computer and let's see what actually happened with all the price action this week, and I will then give you guys my prediction for next week. Originally starting the week over the first about 2 to 3 days, we did see this thing take a loss of nearly 25%. A lot of people were starting to get worried. I personally did buy this dipper right here. I did it a little bit early, and so the next day later that day whenever I saw it still down, I was like, ooh, that might not have been the best idea. But I was pretty happy with my purchase there. If you, of course, do want a little bit more information about my trades, you know where to go. But we did see this thing dropping a pretty substantial amount, and it was honestly kind of worrying seeing how fast it was losing traction. But of course, with all the good news, I do believe that it was played a factor whenever she announced that they were not selling shares, that people stopped getting a little bit so worried about what all was going on. We saw that momentum change. We saw it trough out a bit. As I always love to say, that these companies always drop, trough, go up. And whenever we saw this trough, again, I did buy a few shares. I know some people in my Patreon and in my Discord, they bought some more shares. And then we did see a pretty solid end of the week with a gain of over 30%. So that was absolutely a phenomenal end to the week. I think that is a very, very good sign. Now, the one thing that I have noticed is that this company is struggling loads to clear this 3-cent mark, that every time they're hitting it, they're breaking it and they're going back down. So I would like to see them be able to pass this level of resistance. It is an extreme level of resistance right now. So hopefully we can see this company start to grow past that. And if they do break that, I can expect this company to really, really see loads of growth. So my prediction for next week is I think it's going to be a pretty stagnant week. I think it's a week that's going to come with some volatility. I think overall we're going to see some minor gains, nothing too crazy unless some really good news comes out. But hopefully we can finally see this thing pass up that 3-cent mark and maybe start to test some new levels of resistance. Let me know what your guys' takes on this week were. If you had any more information that I might have missed, definitely leave it in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. If you did enjoy today's video, if you find it valuable or entertaining, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. Again, don't forget to check out the Patreon, as it has become an amazing community. It's so nice knowing that there's 60, coming up on 70 people now, and they're just interacting with each other and really becoming better with each other, and I really do love seeing it happen. With that being said, I have one more video to be posted today, so I hope to see you soon. Peace.